Hey guys, welcome back to Tower of God, a new world. In today's video, I wanted to go through some of the key mistakes to avoid in a game for newer players. Some of these are fairly basic, but some of them are more nuanced towards the game itself, so hopefully you can find something to help you out in these videos. So let's get into the first one. I'm going to cover the absolute basics at the start, which is don't miss your daily stuff. So obviously you want to be in a guild doing check-ins, checking your shop if there's anything you want, doing your agency dispatch modes, all that sort of stuff. Obviously your arena fights, your mock battle fights, conquest mode when it's available. Those are the things you want to do. And also once you unlock the faction towers, make sure you try and push faction tower as much as you can. As you can see, this account I've stopped playing because this was my soft launch account, so I'm missing days on, like, you know, the red element tower. But in general, you want to try and get those as much as you can because they give tons of gifts, which gifts are really nice, which we'll talk about another mistake with gifts in a minute. So that is that one. Just do all your daily stuff, and also when it's early days, like in the first week of your account, do them at the end of the day, because in early days you will progress a lot of levels throughout a day. So you want to do your mock battle, your arena. Well, your arena doesn't matter because people you're competing against scale up with you as well, but definitely your mock battle, and also your AFK loot, which is your quick rewards, your free one, and if you are spending gems on them, do them. These things you can either do at the end of the day or when you are stuck. Now that leads me into the next thing, which is using resources only when you are stuck. That also applies to the resources in the bag here. Now I haven't seen any experience drops, which is strange because normally you see that. At the moment we're only getting the limit breaking materials and also the gold, but yeah, only use these when you absolutely need to because you're out of resources, because it's based on time. So your chapter, your progression will affect how much loot these give. So you want to be using these only when you absolutely need them. If you use them all as soon as you get them, you could have just saved them for later on and then got more bonuses out of them. So that is another one you definitely want to pay attention to. Only use these when you absolutely need to because you are stuck, and using them will give you progression. And then leading on from that brings me over into the Alliance store, because the Alliance store is where you can actually purchase some gear. And I would honestly, my personal opinion is don't buy the purple gear in here and stuff like that. Similar situation, if you use all these alliance points on buying a piece of purple gear, which then you can end up getting drops for anyway, I like to save this for the end game gear once you're into a higher level. So that's my personal perspective. I always save my guild coins, my alliance coins for end game gear, and then try and target the faction of your main unit that you're using first to get them kitted out and then move on from there. But yeah, I don't like buying purple gear, low tier gear from this shop, because then once I unlock the highest tier gear, I just don't have it available to me. Pretty much is the gist I go with. Now, once again, you don't have to listen to me, but in most other idle games I've played, that has always proven to be true, that saving for the end game gear is always the most efficient way to do it. But hey, if you just want some gear, you go nuts. I'm not telling you you have to. This is my opinions on things. Next one I want to mention is going for re-rolling on the Triescence facility. Now, if you jump into the Triescence facility, and I mean, I got pretty lucky rolls on that one. I got pretty decent rolls on that one. Let's activate this one. Okay, there you go. That one, I got horrible rolls. So I could be tempted to re-roll this. I like to just skip it and not, like, the stats aren't that crazy. Unlocking new ones is more beneficial to me. So I like to avoid doing the re-rolls until I unlock all of them. That is my personal perspective once again, just because otherwise if I go to re-roll this one, get it bad again, I'll want to re-roll it again, I'll want to re-roll it again, and then you'll get into that re-roll hell. So I would rather just save up, unlock all of them, and then go ahead and re-roll on the ones that I think have the most stats to re-roll into, and then just narrow it down from there. So I think unlocking all of them is definitely the play on those. The next one I want to look at is going into the gifting system, and that is not giving gifts that aren't beneficial to your character. Now, this may sound frustrating because you just want to boost them as fast as possible, and yes, you can to a certain point, but the one reason I don't recommend doing it is because when we look at how many gifts you actually need to give in these higher grades to max them out, if you look here, I'm feeding away 48 of these just to gain one level, which is a lot. Obviously, if they were beneficial ones, it would be 24. Now, this is going to slow your progress on your main characters, but it is going to make it a lot more efficient for you. So, once again, I personally will not do that, but if you want to, I mean, it's your game, go nuts, but I like playing it the more efficient way, especially early on, when early on you're trying to get as many summons as possible, and you can spread it out amongst the characters and do like the first 2 or the first 3 by giving them gifts that they actually need to get more, basically more loot out of it, is essentially the way I look at it. So if we look at the ones, let's have a look at what I've got a ton of. Does that get me a level? That doesn't get me a level, as you can see. So I just hold out there. Let's look for someone that has something that I have a bunch of. Let's go. So either the it almost looks like a dagger, the wing thingies, the chocolate biscuit. I don't even know what those things are. Let's have a look for them and see if we can get that. So there's one with the things that I need. As you can see, I've beefed this character up a ton because I've just, through achievements and stuff, you get a lot of this one. As you can see, just going to this next level, even though I have 30 of the beneficial one, it's still going to eat all these other gifts just to get it to that level. So you will get a ton of gifts, especially through the faction towers. So if you haven't unlocked those are definitely a good thing to push once you get there. They do give an absolute ton of gifts, so you will unlock them as you go. It just may seem scarce at the start, but you will definitely get a lot more. Now, the final thing that I want to look at is going to be to do with summons, and that is with your wish list. Now, for me, I like to leave the wish list pretty staple. I think in early days, if you've got some one-off characters that you want to get, then that is perfectly fine. For instance, me, you know, like all these guys on my wish list, I'd kind of want to get one of them all first. So you can swap your priority person in your wish list to all the different ones just to pick up that one copy. Because in the early game, getting that one copy of the different characters for different situations can really help. You know, other characters like the healer and stuff like that. But then once you've got like the main characters that you think you need, set your wish list, especially for your main carry in this optimal slot. I think Endorsi is a great option. I also think Yuri is a great option for this. But yeah, take your pick of who it is and then leave them in there so you can start getting them duped out and they can be your main carry. If you look at this account on mine, you can see this guy, I actually just got dupes when he's never been on my wish list. They just keep giving me dupes from stones and stuff. But yeah, on this account, you can see I spread it out and I was trying to get a bunch of characters to test because this was my soft launch server. And you end up with an account looking like this, which yes, you have decent coverage, but like I don't have like a main character like my Endorsi built up so that she can function better as like my main carry / distracting damage dealing unit. Because once again, as you upgrade a character and limit break them, you are going to unlock these constellations. So getting that main character, the extra 40% attack, then decrease damage taken, especially if it's someone like Endorsi or Yuri, who are also going to take a lot of hits. If you can decrease the damage they take from their weak element, that is going to be absolutely fantastic. And when we look into Endorsi specifically, or yellow or purple units, they just get further mitigation that then they've already got when you're playing them at an advantage, which is absolutely huge. So once you've got the general, like maybe 5 to 10 characters that you want, then just narrow down and make sure you leave that main character in there so that you can get those dupes so then they can start fulfilling their role. So that pretty much covers everything I wanted to mention. If you got any other tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.